A blessed and pleasant day to all of you out there who are watching Agenda. I'm your host, Cito Beltran, and you are watching us via Cignal TV, channels 8 and 250, as well as on Facebook.com/OneNewsPH. And you can also watch us on YouTube now or later. Just enter One News PH and broadcasting live from Lipa City. I will be sharing with you a lot of information today. We're changing things a bit. It's going to be a little faster. And what's going to happen is when I'm doing my interviews, I will be reading certain important information, going to questions, then reading information again, going to questions. And you might wonder, why is Cito reading more nowadays? Because the team agenda puts in a lot of effort for research. We have a full team doing that. And it's very important, very useful information that makes our viewers rounded, informed, and can make good decisions. So we've decided to try that out. Please let us know what you think about it. Now, for today, June 9, 2021, it's Wednesday. Let's go to the front page of the Philippine Star. And here you go, 4.14 million unemployed as jobless rate hits 8.7%. President Duterte addressed the people and said, get your second vaccine dose. President Duterte preparing for 2022 retirement. Okay? And on the lower half of the Philippine Star, we have private schools seek court order to stop tax hike. That's the 25% corporate tax that the BIR wants to impose on private schools based on the new law passed by Congress. Well, that was intended to help businesses, but it seems somebody read it reverse. FDA approves Pfizer biotech jab for youths 12 to 15 and 25 billion additional budget. Too much, okay, for the vaccine. And as far as COVID-19 cases, it's clearly going down. It was 7,000 at the beginning of the week, went down to 6,000, and now it's 4,777 cases. Let's now go to the stories behind the headlines. The reimposition of strict quarantine measures wiped out the minimal gains in the labor market as more Filipinos lost their jobs again in April. Filipinos lost their jobs again, and this led to a significant rise in the unemployment rate from 7.1% in March to 8.7% in April. The private schools have asked the Court of Tax Appeals to review and stop the implementation of a new Bureau of Internal Revenue or BIR order. The memo aims to raise the tax imposed on private schools from the current 10% to 25%. And finally, the Food and Drug Administration, or FDA, has approved the use of COVID-19 vaccine of Pfizer for the younger population aged 12 to 15 years. Previously, the FDA also granted the application of Pfizer to amend its original emergency use status to allow the vaccine for those above 16 years old. And for today's quotation, it comes from the book of Psalms in the Bible, chapter 126, verse 5. Those who sow with tears will reap with songs of joy. Yung mga luhain po, yung mga luhaan ay magtatagumpay at kakanta ng galak. Okay, now let's go to our interviews for today. According to the International Diabetes Federation, the prevalence rate of diabetes in Filipino adults is 6.3%. That means almost 4 million out of 66 million adults in our country. Now, that doesn't mean we are extra sweet. That means that 4 million Filipinos are sick. Let's call a spade a spade. Diabetes mellitus ranked fourth most prevalent cause of deaths among Filipinos. That is over 37,000 in 2020. To talk about managing diabetes in the time of COVID-19, we have with us Dr. Amal Makhloufi, country lead of Sanofi Philippines. Dr. Amal, good morning to you.
Good morning, Cito. Nice to meet you, and thank you for having me with you this morning.
Okay, thank you very much for giving us your time. Now, I just want to do this introduction for our viewers. Like type 1 diabetes, according to our research, type 2 diabetes is inherited. This means a group of genes that can lead to type 2 is passed down from mothers and fathers to their children. Even if diabetes is known as hereditary ailment, how can we take a proactive approach in avoiding diabetes?
Yes, it's true. Even if diabetes is known as a hereditary ailment, we can take a proactive approach because it's a lifestyle disease. We need to eat healthy, to get regular exercise, and go for regular health checks. And if you are at an increased risk of diabetes because you have people with diabetes in the family, talk to your doctor regularly and take proactive actions. Okay. Eating in moderation and having healthy diet means eating food that is rich in dietary fiber with fruits, vegetables, whole grain, replacing cream, cheese, butter, and healthier options such as avocado, nuts, olive, swapping white rice with whole grain options such as brown, red, black, and avoiding all high sugar mistakes. And of course, get regular physical exercise and maintain a healthy weight.
Okay, well, what are some of the most common mistakes when it comes to dealing with diabetes?
Not getting exercise. Diabetes cases vary per person. So getting tested, also, it's very important. It's necessary in order for patients to manage their disease well. It's common that misconception that diabetes is the same for everyone. It's not true. And people often think that one treatment plan would work for everyone. So this is why it's very important to get tested, to get exercise. Diabetes cannot be properly managed with just medicines. We need to have a holistic approach. We need to get exercise in regular phases, and 15 minutes exercise per day, it's good enough as long as patients make it in a regular base. And last one is, of course, not getting regular checkup. Like any other disease, diabetes requires strict monitoring, not just by the patient, but by doctor and healthcare providers as well. And there's always a chance that diabetes patients may develop other complications. So it's best to meet with your doctor in regular phase.
Dr. Makhloufi, how regular should regular be? Because I know a lot of people simply go to the doctor when they don't feel well, or like when women are pregnant, or when somebody starts having a wound that doesn't heal, they immediately think diabetes. But how often should regular be?
Yes. So it depends on in which age, in which phase of our life we are. It depends if we have people with chronic disease, with lifestyle disease in the family. When we are young, if we do a checkup every, let's say, 2 years, get at least go to the doctor, right? When we are older, after 50, 60, better to do it, in regular phase, at least to go to your doctor for a visit every year. Now, if we are with diabetes and we are known with diabetes, we need to visit our doctor every 3 months because the doctor will look at our monitoring, at our blood sugar. He will also look if we are developing complication or no, and he can advise us on our lifestyle.
Okay, Doc Amal, I know that you are very committed. Sanofi Philippines is committed to helping Filipinos manage diabetes, cure their problems if possible. And I know you've been on the program a number of times talking about diabetes in the past years. Now, what is Sanofi Philippines doing with this Empower Patient Support Program? I heard you have a program for diabetes and hypertension patients.
Yes, true. And thank you, Cito, for this question because I'm really looking to forward to make these programs known by our Filipinos. It's our pledge, it's our panata to help building a healthier Philippines by building resilience, innovation, and collaboration. And I was saying that to manage this lifestyle disease, we need a holistic approach. We need to go beyond just medicines. And this is why we promote and encourage a holistic approach to disease management by championing patient education. Empower, it's a patient support program where we provide personalized coaching session to diabetes patients through nurse, educator, and nutritionist. We recognize that managing diabetes cannot be done with just medicines alone, as I said. And we encourage our patients to be more holistic in their approach to disease management. So it's an app that the patient can upload. And to get access to this app, patient need to register to this program through their doctors.
Okay, so it's you go to your doctor for a checkup. Your doctor will assist you to register with Sanofi Philippines so you can get the app and be enlisted in the program. And that program will assist you by referring you to a nutritionist, to a nurse. Is that how it works?
Yes, exactly. It's an hybrid model, meaning you can access to modules and videos to be empowered and to learn about what is diabetes, how to manage, how to avoid complication, how to monitor ourselves, because there is also self-monitoring about the blood sugar. And in the meantime, you will be put in contact with a nurse that will be calling you in regular phase to walk you through these modules and also as well as being in contact with the nutritionist that will help you adjusting your lifestyle and adjusting your food and how to eat in more healthy way.
Okay, how has the reception been for the Empower program of the Sanofi. Have you tested it already, or is it just with the physicians first? Is there what's the reaction?
Yes, so the program, we launched it in 2018, and we are more than 5,000 patients in our program. And only this year, we have more than 1,100 new patients in our program. So we tested it. It works. Putting the patient in contact with a nurse is helping a lot in coaching him, putting him in a community where he can exchange with other people with diabetes. It's helping him to do not feel alone and to get advice and to be inspired by his peers. And we got very nice result in terms of health outputs. We were able to improve, for example, adherence to treatment, to double the duration, because people are more aware the importance of their treatment. But not only, they were able also to improve their HbA1c, which is the memory of the blood sugar, the last 3 months, by more than 20%. So it's getting very good results. Because it's a holistic approach. On the top of treatment, people are adjusting their lifestyle. People know how to take care of themselves and how also to self-monitor their blood sugar. So it's an end-in-end program that helping them in better managing their disease and therefore getting better health outcomes.
How quickly do people adjust to the new lifestyle? Because I'm sure the nutritionist and the dietitian and the whatever are you said they can call the patient, monitor them. But what are the patients saying? Are they saying it's very hard, or are they surprised that it's actually a quick change from, I mean, like from white rice to brown rice, for instance? I have a hard time convincing Filipinos it is one of the easiest thing to do. Just learn how to cook brown rice or black rice.
Yeah, it's true, Cito. Lifestyle is not that easy to be changed, but it's all about motivation. When the patient understand what is it about, what is the blood sugar, and what we are speaking about, because at the beginning they think that there is nothing to do, they have just to take their medicines and wait and see. But when they enter in the program, they understand that they have to take proactive action. They have to take control of their life. And when they understand how it works, by adjusting the food and the exercise, they can decrease the blood sugar. And there they
Okay.
become motivated, and they hear from other patients, testimony from other patients that it works. And then they become motivated. They start by taking small steps. No need, to do big steps at the beginning. Small steps, but in a regular phase, like the exercise. No need to do a big exercise. We are speaking about 15 minutes exercise per day.
Well,
And eating in moderation. It doesn't mean they will stop everything, but they will adjust in eating in moderation and by avoiding some foods and taking other foods, like what I said, the diet that is rich in fiber, fruits, vegetables, grains, and change the rice habit. This is critical.
Well, I think one of the best things I picked up today, which I actually have done, is get rid of the household help, and you don't need to go to a gym. Get rid of the household help and do the household chores yourself, and you will be exercising. Anyway, seriously, Doctor Makhloufi, let me ask now. Let's shift to the current concern of COVID-19. We do know for a fact that diabetes is a very bad situation to have or be in the time of COVID-19. In fact, I think there is a greater mortality rate with COVID-19 among diabetes patients. Has anyone made the connection as to why more people get hit by COVID-19 than other diseases?
Yes, of course. People with diabetes or people with hypertension, people in general with chronic disease, heart disease, kidney disease, they are most likely to develop a severe cases when they get infected by COVID-19 because because of the comorbidities and because of their immunity. They are at risk to develop more severe COVID-19 cases. However, if they are in control of their blood sugar or their blood pressure, there is no reason if they are on control, they will be fighting COVID-19 as much as anyone else. So this is why we are raising this awareness. People with chronic disease should be on control of their blood sugar, of their hypertension or pressure, in order for them to better fight COVID-19 in case they are infected.
Okay, well, so just to wrap things up and to review, anyone who wants to take advantage of Sanofi's Empower program has to go to their doctor, register with the doctor, have their diabetes checkup, and then get the app from the internet with Sanofi, and then Sanofi will set up the monitoring by a nutritionist, by a nurse, etc. Are you guys giving anything else outside of that monitoring and guidance?
Yes, Cito. We are making innovative health solution more accessible. What it means? It means we have a partnership with AC Health, for example, which is the biggest, the vast network of clinics and hospital and professionals. So, in order for us to cater to a lot more Filipinos, we are also working on several partnerships with top tier retailers for online or call order and deliveries. Currently, we are partnered, for example, with Watson for call and delivery for their insulin. And we are hoping to do it with other pharmacist chain. We are also making our insulin more affordable and more accessible. You know that we are celebrating the 1 year insulin discovery this year. And therefore, we are really going beyond Sanofi through this partnership. We are going beyond medicine through this support patient program, and we are going beyond generalization by making our innovative insulin more accessible and available everywhere in the country and through online. For the first time, insulin, its cold chain, is delivered at home, and patient can just call and have their insulin delivered at home. And when they are newly initiated, they can have their first insulin for free delivered at home. And on the insulin, they have a QR code they can scan and get access to our Empower program.
Okay. Well, thank you very much, Amal. And we congratulate Sanofi. You're not just in the business of selling medicines for diabetes. You are promoting, empowering people so that they don't have to be dependent on the medicines. And we thank you for that very well-rounded, holistic approach at Sanofi. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you, Cito. Have a nice day. Bye-bye.
Okay, you too. And that is Dr. Amal Makhloufi, Country Head, Sanofi, Philippines. And we will go for a quick break. When we return, let's go on to our next interview here on Agenda. Welcome back to the program agenda. I'm your host, Cito Beltran, and you are watching us via Cignal TV channels 8 and 250, as well as on Facebook.com/OneNewsPH and YouTube as well. Okay, the is this the the PGH Nurses Association sought the release of at least 43 million pesos worth of salaries that they failed to receive in the last 18 months. They are pinning the blame on the Budget Department circular that drew controversy among government nurses. To get more on this, let's have the president of the PGH Nurses Association, Jossel Ebesate. Jossel, good morning to you, sir.
Good morning po, sir.
Okay, relax ka lang. Kwentuhan lang tayo. And Jossel, ano ba ang situation? You're talking 43 million pesos of salaries na hindi pa nababayaran or hindi nyo nakokolekta in the last 18 months?
Kasi nga po kung ma-implement itong order ni Secretary Mildred Dea na kung saan ang ating nurse 2 ay inangat ng isang salary grade from 15 to salary grade 16, ay lumalabas po na may kukolektahin talaga kami na mga 3,000 na kulang doon sa ibinabayad na sweldo sa kanila mula nung January 2020 hanggang ngayong June. Kaya yun po, actually work in progress kumbaga kasi hinihintay pa rin naman natin yung implementation ng DBM doon sa order ng Malacanang. So once na lalabas na yung order ng Malacanang, doon bali papasok yung ating hinihingi na salary differential po na umaabot sa 54,000 kada isang nurse 2.
Ayun. So in other words, it's actually bitin na good news. It's good news in the sense that Secretary Medjaldea signed a memorandum or a executive order that promotes and increases the salaries of nurse 1 to 2 or 2 to 1? Oops, Jossel. Okay. Nabitin. Jossel, you're back.
Apa.
Okay. So good news na may parang promotion. Ang problema, bitin dahil wala pa yung adjustment of the salary. But retroactive ba yung salary?
Opo, based doon sa order ng DBM is retroactive siya ng January 2020. Kaya yun po ang bilang namin.
Okay, and ano ang problema? I'm sure that you are a very proactive association, lalo na PGH. What seems to be the problem?
Yun nga po, kasi nga 2021 na tayo ngayon, so likely yung buong 2020 na budget ay maaring reprogram na ng aming hospital yun at baka wala na kaming savings na naiwan. Kasi PGS dahil under siya ng UP, yung aming savings mula sa GAA ay hindi binabalik sa National Treasury kundi naiiwan lang sa amin. Pero dahil June na po kasi ngayon, and usually within the first quarter, nire-reprogram na po yung mga hindi nagamit last year. Kaya yun yung aming kinatatakutan na baka, although may savings kami na maiiwan, but na hindi na ibabalik sa National Treasury. Pero once na na-reprogram na ito, ay baka wala na kaming babalikan na back pay. Kaya nga po, nagpapatulong din tayo sa ating national government na baka naman mayroon ding savings pa and considering na ongoing pa yung ating 2021 na allocation. So baka merong elbow room. Like for example, actually hindi to original lang sa amin pero sinabi ni Congressman Defensor na mayroong miscellaneous personnel fund na nakaparada lang po sa DBM to the amount of 29 billion for any contingency sa personnel sa government. So considering na 43 million lang naman po ang hinihingi namin, kumbaga parang kunting pan lang yun maliit na halaga lang po ang hinihingi namin para doon sa ikaganda naman po ng pananaw ng ating mga nurse 2 na ang tingin nga nila ay na-demote sila last year.
Okay, but Jossel, you are talking about PGH nurses. Yun ang nilalaban mo, yung diferensya
Opo.
ng sweldo para sa PGH. Pero sa pangkalahatan, nationwide, does this memorandum circular or executive order of Executive Secretary Medjaldea also apply to other nurses in other government offices o kayo lang sa PGH ang may special mention?
Bali, sa buong Pilipinas po ang implementation nito. So, hindi lang po actually mga nurses under the national government, kundi kasama din ang sa mga LGUs. So, umaabot sa pagtingtansya namin, umaabot to halos sa mga 14,000 na mga nurse 2 item sa buong Pilipinas, kasama ang mga nasa LGU, at kalahati sa mga 14,000 na yan ay mga 7,000 under the national government, and that includes yun nga kami sa PGH, yung mga GOCC hospitals natin, kasi aside from PGH po, ang mga GOCC hospitals natin like Lung Center, NKI, ay sila din yung isa sa mga ospital na ang kanilang mga staff nurse ay nagsisimula na kaagad sa nurse 2 o yun nga, second level na talaga, hindi nurse 1.
Ilan ba ang nurse for PGH, Jossel?
Ang nurse ng PGH sa kalahatan ay nasa 1,140, and out of that ay 822 po ang nurse 2 namin na yun nga, sila ang staff nurse namin actually.
Okay, so bale, pero ang balita namin according to Team Agenda, ang balita ay i-discuss pa raw, lilinawin pa raw ni Secretary Wendell Abisado yung kung whether sakop yung 2020. Parang, ewan ko, yun yata yung points of clarification. Ano ba ang nababalitaan ninyo? Na-consulta na ba kayo dyan o naabisuhan na ba kayo? Have you been given some sort of an update on what's going on?
Wala pa naman po. Pero yun nga po, kaya ang basis namin is dapat retroactive talaga siya ng 2020. Kasi yung pagbabago na ginawa ng DBM based doon sa kanilang Memorandum Budget Circular number 2020-4 is retroactive siya ng January 2020. So siyempre, kung may corrective action dyan ang ating gobyerno dahil nga doon sa ginawa ni Secretary Medjaldea, is dapat retroactive din siya ng 2020. January 2020 po.
Yung circular na yan na ginawa ng DBM or ng Malacanang regarding ewan ko nga, medyo nalilito na yung iba, yung classification ng nurse 2, nurse 1, parang may na-promote, tapos meron naman lumalabas parang na-demote. Ano ba talaga nangyari dyan? And ano ba ang dapat gawin? Should that circular be recalled, reviewed, or completely changed? Because it seems to be not only demoralizing a certain category of nurses, it gives a unfulfilled promise to the aspiring nurse 2s, and then it is obviously very confusing. At walang pera.
Opo. Kasi ang circular po ng DBM last year ay inilabas ito bilang pagsunod sa desisyon ng Supreme Court noong 2015 or 2016 pa, kung hindi ako nagkakamali, na kung saan ay, yun nga po, isa na nakakalungkot nito 2002 pa po, naglabas ang ating gobyerno ng bagong Nursing Act na kung saan ang entry level sa government ng mga nurses ay itinaas po sa salary grade 15. 2002 pa po ito. Pero hindi po ito ipinatupad ng ating DBM, at yun nga, kaya napilitan po ang isang nursing group natin, yung ang Nurse Party List, na kasuhan ang DBM for mandamos kasi may batas na po at yet hindi pinatupad ng ating gobyerno. And yun nga, pinatigan ng ating Supreme Court ang petition na yon at dinirect na talaga, inutusan ng Supreme Court ang DBM na ipinatupad. Pero in spite of that, almost 3 taon o 4 na taon din bago ito pinatupad ng DBM, at yun nga, pinatupad niya finally last year. Pero yun nga, ang maganda doon sa budget circular ng DBM, inangat niya yung ating nurses sa government na ang nurse 1 o ang entry level position ay magiging salary grade 15 mula doon sa salary grade 11 dati. So, 4 na salary grade, malaking kwan yun, halos 10,000 pesos ang equivalent nito sa monthly salary nila. Pero yung mula nurse 2 pataas ay ibinaba ng ating DBM. Yung kanilang category, position classification.
Yung bibigay kay Pedro, kinuha kay Juan, in other words.
In a way siguro, kasi nga, ang nangyari sa amin is yung nurse 2 namin talaga, ibinalik sila sa nurse 1.
Aray ko. Yun na nga nangyari. Parang, so that, in any case, Jossel, thank you for clarifying that point. Hayaan mo, hindi namin to titigilan and stay in touch because we want to support our nurses and we are just calling on Secretary Wendell Abisado. Parang awa naman po makipagharap kayo at liwanagin ninyo itong mga bagay na ito kasi ayaw namin kayong batikusin pero ayan, yung mga nurse na umaasa, nawawala ng pag-asa, kami nga mga magbababoy na pinangakuan na pag kami nag-comply at nagkatay ng mga baboy na may ASF, babayaran kami para doon sa mga pinayagan naming ipapatay. Hanggang ngayon, wala pa kaming nakukuha sa indemnification. Puro na lang kayo identification ng farmers, yung indemnification wala pa. Now, if that is so sad, if the DBM can just shuffle things around to getting from one to give to Pedro or something to that effect, that is really medyo hindi po ako magmumura pero talagang back to you na lang. Sana anihin nyo rin yung inyong tinatanim na injustice na yan. We'll go for a quick break. When we return, pagpatuloy po natin ang ating mga interview dahil mayroon namang good news sana dito sa agenda. Welcome to the second half of our program today. I'm your host, Cito Beltran, and you are watching Agenda via Cignal TV channels 8 and 250. And thank you to PLDT for their fiber optic home internet. Okay, patuloy po natin ang programa. And I read earlier that the unemployment rate, as far as April is concerned, had just gone to, I think, something like 8% or thereabouts. And ayan po, pinag-uusapan natin yung mga nurse. And while musing on the subject, it occurred to me that, a lot of people are uncomfortable with the idea of Filipinos, the Filipinos being overseas Filipino workers, tayo raw yung mga domestic helper ng mundo. But, on the other hand, aside from being the domestic helpers of the world, as said disparagingly, we are also the captains of the sea of the world. Kumbaga, most of the boats that have been ships that are out there are manned by Filipino crews, and then so you have nurses, you have teachers, you have seafarers, and when you think about it, our problem really should not be about what some people call us, but how it benefits us. The problem is the government in particular, is not properly investing on developing useful, beneficial, and profitable employment for Filipinos. Why? Kasi we are not investing on better schools for nursing. We are not investing on better schools for maritime schools, for labor, etc., etc. Meron po tayong iisang hindi nga department, ano lang sila, agency that is doing such a Herculean task of educating Filipinos who don't have enough capital for the proper 4-year education, but they're not getting the funds and the support and public recognition. I speak of TESDA. Okay? Pag-usapan po natin itong TESDA and pag-usapan natin yung kanilang state because the government really, we Filipinos really need to push for better education. Kung pwede nga, state-sponsored education and training, technical training for Filipinos so we can send them abroad. There's nothing wrong about sending Filipinos abroad. Tigilan na natin yung nationalism na bring them home and let them live in the Philippines. There's not enough jobs here. So wake up. Okay, anyway, lako po, init na naman ang ulo ko. Ayan na. Let's speak with the Deputy Director General of TESDA, TESD Operations, TESDA, none other than Deputy Director General Lina Sarmiento. Good morning, ma'am.
Good morning, Cito. Good morning sa lahat ng mga taga-subaybay ng iyong programa.
Okay, maraming salamat sa oras nyo ngayong umaga. Ngayon, napag-isipan ko lang kagabi in all seriousness. Imbis na pinoproblema natin yung issue and right or wrong of Filipinos going abroad. Sabi ko nga, dinadaing natin na wala na tayong nurses. Paano? Ang daming nursing school na naisara. Imbis na iniayos, isinasara. Marami tayong mga sima na hindi makakuha ng trabaho kasi yung mga eskwelahan ay pinagdududaan ng mga international maritime agencies. Pagkatapos dito sa education, ngayon isang damukal na teacher, walang trabaho, walang magawa. And it occurred to me, sabi ko, kamusta na kaya yung TESDA? Ano ba ang situation ng TESDA? Yun na lang, kayo na yata yung last man standing trying to help the government. What is the situation of TESDA now?
Alam mo, TESDA very busy, no? Kahit na nagkaroon ng pandemic, tuloy-tuloy ang TESDA. Kung maalala natin nung nagsimula ang pandemic nung March, no, 2020, last year, yung TESDA, nasuspend, kasama siya dun sa mga nasuspend ang klase, di ba? Pero noong July, dahil we made representation sa IATF, pinayagan tayong ipagpatuloy yung mga programa tungkol sa agri-fishery qualifications, di ba? Kasi alam naman natin na lalong-lalo na sa panahon ng pandemya, kailangan natin ng pagkain. Kaya ito yung isa sa napaka-importante qualification na tinututukan natin, agriculture at saka fishery, no? Mm-hmm. So, ang isang tinututukan pa ng TESDA yung construction kasi alam naman natin, maraming available na trabaho sa construction, maraming ginagawang tulay, daan, mga building, no? So, ito yung mga dalawang qualification kung saan 30% each, yung dalawang sektor, no? 30% ng scholarship funds na nakalagay sa TESDA, doon natin binubuhos. Dahil ito yung mga kailangan natin, no? And then, of course, nagkaroon ng pandemic. Karamihan sa atin, work from home, bigla nating na-discover yung Zoom at kung ano-ano pang video streaming apps. So, importante yung IT BPM. So, ito yung susunod, 20% ng scholarship funds. Yun yung pinaglalaanan natin, inilalaan natin sa IT BPM. And of course, healthcare. Kasi meron kaming mga courses sa healthcare, meron kaming contact tracing, meron kaming barangay health services. Since nagkaroon nga ng pandemic, 10% naman yung inallocate natin dyan. And of course, yung tourism related. Dahil maraming mga restaurants ang hindi makapag-operate, maraming hotel ang hindi pa rin makapag-operate. Kaya maraming displaced workers dyan, medyo na-deprioritize siya because of the pandemic. Pero talagang napaka-importante nung agriculture kasi importante talaga to dahil pagkain pinag-uusapan, food security, ang ating gobyerno, yun yung isa sa priority ngayong pandemic. Kaya support ang TESDA dyan.
DG Lina, itong Deputy Director General Lina, itong situation ng TESDA, have you been given enough support or do you remain like a backyard? Pasensya na, no? Hindi po ako nang babastos, mahal ko yung TESDA, pero para kayong tinatratong backyard farm ba? Kumbaga, katulad sa pagbababoy, may mga commercial farm. Sa education, may mga state university, mayroong mga private colleges, etc. I remember in Malaysia when I went there many years ago, meron sila isang buong, ewan ko, you could call it a little town, almost like a town, na agricultural training center. Ganun kalaki yung kanilang training center, katumbas na ng isang bayan. Now, it seems to me that TESDA has not been given the full recognition and respect or the acknowledgement yung potential ninyo that you can be state university level. Bakit hindi nangyayari yun? Kasi parang puro na lang tayo training, online, ganito. And I'm saying, kagagaling ng tao dyan, kagagaling ng kanilang science and kanilang mga curriculum. Bakit hindi tayo gumawa ng state university for technical training?
Alam mo, dyan napapunta yung TESDA, no? Kasi, di ba, importante ngayon yung mga 21st century skills, no? Kailangan yung global competitiveness at isa yan sa mandate ng TESDA. While we do not forget about social equity, yung mga training programs para sa mga kababayan natin na nasa bundok o nasa mga communities na hindi naman ganong kaunlad, ang TESDA, hindi naman din niya naiiwan yung global competitiveness kasi ito rin ang isa sa goal ng TESDA. Pero ngayon, marami ng efforts na ginawa ang TESDA sa pamumuno ni Secretary La Peña. Meron tayong mga diploma programs na sa ating mga TESDA schools. Hindi lamang puro short courses, meron ng mga diploma programs din. Diploma program. Meron kaming mga school, lalo na sa Mindanao at saka sa Visayas. Meron silang diploma programs on agriculture, on tourism-related qualifications, at iba-iba pang qualification. No? So,
okay.
Unti-unti natin itong pinupuntahan. At alam mo, maganda Cito, maganda At tamang-tama yung usapan natin. Kasi nabanggit mo yung tungkol sa backyard farming. Gusto ko lang ipaalam sa iyo at saka sa lahat ng ating mga kababayan na ang TESDA ay kapartner ng Department of Agriculture. Kasi ang TESDA mas maraming eskwelahan kaysa sa Department of Agriculture.
Yung bang schools ninyo, Deputy Director Lina, yung bang schools ninyo independent TESDA schools or are they schools dependent on the political will of mayors and governors. Kasi alam mo, yan ang isang ikinaiirita ko na may mga TESDA schools na nawala kasi hindi na sinuportahan ng mga mayor.
Meron kaming 210 na TESDA schools, no? Yung mga ibang schools dito, malalaki TESDA administered schools. Meron kaming agricultural schools. And then sa panahon ni Secretary La Peña, lahat ng probinsya nag-establish ng provincial training centers. Itong provincial training centers namin, ito yung mga mobile training centers na sila yung pumupunta dun sa mga communities, nagpo-provide ng extension services, nagtuturo dun sa mga malalayong lugar. And of course, yun namang mga malalaking TESDA administered schools, sila yung parang institution-based na mga schools. Kagaya dito sa Jacobo Gonzales, dito sa Maypinyan, malaki yung school namin dyan. Well-known sila sa mechatronics at sa iba pang mga qualification na related sa manufacturing. Magaling din sila sa TV, yung mga related sa television, etc. Yung mga electronics, magaling din sila. Napakaraming school ng TESDA na magaling. Meron kaming school sa Davao. Nakapag-produce na siya ng instrumentation graduate na ngayon ay supervisor sa Singapore, earning more than 300,000 pesos a month, no? Nagsimula siyang construction worker nung umpisa, nung naisip niya kung hindi ako mag-aral kasi wala na nga siyang pera pang suporta sa kolehiyo. Alam mo, naisip niya pag hindi ako nag-aral, tatanda ako ganito. So nag-aral siya sa TESDA, kumuha siya ng instrumentation. And then, unti-unti, gumanda yung buhay niya. Ngayon, supervisor siya sa Singapore. Nakakatuwa.
Okay, well, magandang pakinggan yun, Deputy Director General. Ngayon, ano po ba ang mga, so far, mga plano ng TESDA for the next year? Kasi tinamaan tayo ng pandemic, hindi makalabas ang mga tao, and then, ang daming libreng oras at saka alam mo nagtataka lang ako Ma'am Lina, nagtataka lang ako na parang hindi natin natitake advantage yan kasi itong mga bata naka-standby sa kanto, puro tablet at cellphone ng hawak. Sabi ko, naku po, kung mag-enroll kayo sa TESDA. Merong ilan-ilan na naturuan ko na, nakulit ko na dito sa barangay na punta ka lang sa TESDA, tingnan mo, TESDA online, sige, maghanap ka dyan, may mga libreng course. Kasi maraming tao hindi pa rin nila naintindihan na libre yung mga courses ng TESDA, di po ba?
O, totoo yan. Alam mo yung TESDA online program namin, pero kaming 100 programs dyan.
Oh, sige, pakinarate na.
100. Nung nagsimula ang pandemic, mga 78 lang yata yung programa namin dyan. Ngayon, 100 na yung programs, dinadagdagan namin ng dinadagdagan. At lumaki yung enrollment, no? Yung TESDA online program namin, nagsimula siya noong 2012. Tapos, mula 2012 hanggang 2020, nung March, ang enrollment namin dyan, mga wala pang 1 million. Ngayon, almost 3 million na yung enrollment namin. So, ibig sabihin, yung more than 1.5 million nag-enroll sa loob ng isang taon. Napakaganda ng programa namin sa TESDA online kasi mag-aaral ka, pwede kang huminto, kunwari magsasaing ka o magluluto, pwedeng itigil mo muna, ituloy mo kung saan ka huminto. At pagkatapos, may exam sa dulo, may test. Pag naipasa mo yun, meron kang certificate na pwede mong i-print o kaya i-save mo lang sa laptop mo. Ang pinakamaganda dito sa TESDA online program, may partnership kami sa Globe sa ngayon. Pagka Globe ang provider mo, hindi ka i-charge ng data. So libre lang, wala kang magagastos. Magkakaroon ka pa ng training certificate. At padagdag kami ng padagdag ng program.
Malaking bagay ang training certificate kasi I remember before COVID-19, usong-uso yan na sa mga therapist ba, yung mga nagmamasahe. naging standard na yan, na minimum standard. Mga customers nagtatanong, na-training ba yung tao na yan sa pagmamasahe? Baka naman natuto lang yan sa paglalaba. And sasabihin na, naging ano na, minimum standard na. TESDA trained po ako. Meron po akong certificate sa TESDA. Now, Ma'am Lina, you have this competency assessment for OFW. Meron kayong 12-day blended training program for domestic worker. Pati hydroponics, pinasok nyo na. Ano ba itong mga program na ito?
Alam mo kasi, sabi mo nga kanina, marami tayong mga kababayan talagang walang trabaho dito at meron namang opportunities abroad. Hindi naman natin sila pwedeng pigilan dahil wala nga silang trabaho. Kung mamamasukan naman silang kasambahay dito, hindi naman kasing laki nung makukuha nila kung sa abroad sila pupunta. No? So, itong competency assessment ng domestic workers, ginagawa ito para magkaroon sila ng national certificate. Yung national certificate, yun yung hinahanap sa kanila ng mga employers nila kung magtatrabaho sila bilang domestic workers. So ito, tinututukan ng husto ng TESDA sapagkat kung wala kang national certificate, ibig sabihin, hindi pa nasubukan kung marunong ka o hindi o kung handa ka ba sa papasukin mo trabaho. Ito yung nagiging dahilan ng mga welfare cases natin. Kung pupunta ka sa abroad tapos hindi ka pala marunong magplancha o kaya nagplancha ka, sinunog mo yung damit na branded, pagkamahal-mahal, hindi naman alam nung kasambahay or yung domestic worker na kababayan natin na 100,000 pala, meron palang damit na ganun. Nasunog niya. O de magagalit ngayon yung employer. So itong mga ito ang tinuturo. Kaya dahil nandyan na maraming mga kababayan tayong gusto mag-abroad at napakalaki ng market sa Middle East, even dito sa Southeast Asia, merong nagbubukas na yung market sa Southeast Asia, hindi lang sa Middle East. So talagang naghahanda ang mga kababayan nating domestic workers. So ito yung ating tinututukan. Ngayon, mahaba daw kasi yung training under the TESDA regulation ng domestic work NC2. 28 days ang training, more or less, kasi 218 hours eh. So more or less 28 days siya. Mahaba daw. So sinubukan natin, kapartner yung ILO, sinubukan na paikliin. So nag-launch kami nito 2 weeks ago, May 24, I think, kung hindi ako nagkakamali. Yung first batch ng 12-day program namin sa domestic work, nilaunch namin. Ang purpose nito, tutukan yung pinaka-importanting mga bagay-bagay sa domestic work para madaling matapos yung training. At pag natapos yung training, i-assess natin sila. Titingnan natin kung with the 12 days training, handa na ba silang pumunta sa abroad.
Okay. So may assessment program, may training. Alam mo, Ma'am Lina, pasensya ka na, no? Medyo naubusan na naman tayo ng oras, pero we will allocate another episode for TESDA para mapag-usapan nga natin yung hydroponics na yan. Kasi sobrang dami ngayong mga plantito and plantita. But many people fail to realize that hydroponics presents a cleaner, simpler, more comfortable manner of planting. Kasi ako kamakailangan, binalikan ko yung on the ground na pagbe-vegetable farming, magkabali-bali yung likod ko, nagkagas-gas-gas yung tuhod ko. Pagkatapos nung umalis ako, nilapa ng mga sisiw, yun na nakagala, yung tinanim ko. So sabi ko, babalikan ko yung hydroponics. So,
alam mo, Cito, ang kasi mamayang hapon, naroon kaming signing ng Memorandum of Agreement with the Department of Agriculture and the Bureau of Fisheries and Aquatic Resources. Partner nila ng TESDA, magkakaroon kami dito ng laboratory for aquaponics at saka hydroponics. Dito natin i-develop. So magkakaroon tayo ng ganyan. At ito, future nito, ipapasok din natin sa TESDA online program. Pero mahabang usapan to.
Okay, pwede naman akong pumunta dyan dahil fully vaccinated na ako. Okay.
Wow, congratulations.
Thank you very much, Deputy Director General Lina Sarmiento ng TESDA. Maraming salamat po.
Thank you very much, Cito. Nice to see you kahit virtual.
Okay, and now let's go to our netizen report.
We ask you if you are in favor of economic charter change. Seed Von Sequoia is. Seed says we need to change the 1987 Constitution, which he calls substandard. Wilhelm Garag raises a question. Will the Chacha push for 100% foreign ownership? If yes, then he says that this misses the very intent of economic Chacha. Meanwhile, the government recently started inoculation for A4 priority group, whom we call the economic frontliners. We ask you if you are confident that the Philippines will meet its vaccination target for 2021. Laika Lopez Guzman says that it's possible if we trust the government. Laika calls on the public to rally behind the government to achieve the target. Maynard Rivera is skeptic. Maynard points out, kulang na ang bakuna. Nakatigil ang bakunahan sa probinsya dahil walang binibigay na vaccine. Bernard Vizmano says, bakuna lang ang sagot. Sana hindi maantala ang mga bakunang dadating. Because the Philippines loves basketball, we also discussed Kiefer Ravena's plan to play professional basketball in Japan. Eldo Semana says, hindi lang PBA ang ligang pwedeng paglaruan ng ating Pinoy players. He adds, karapatan ni Kiefer yan na mamili.
Okay, and that is your netizen report for the day, and we thank you for joining us this morning. Medyo kailangan pang mag-adjust, medyo madaming load tayo today, but it was a good run, and we thank you for being patient with us. We hope you learned a lot, and kung bitin naman po kayo, please send us a message via Facebook or through the Cignal TV group, Agenda One News PH group, para we can incorporate your suggestions. Thank you. Have a good day. God bless all of you.